always said my first album will be my last album because I didn't expect to make it past 20.
Now, tributes are pouring in for South African rapper Ricky Makado died this morning in Johannesburg.
When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts.
They say nothing in business is a coincidence. When a young, outspoken rapper like Ricky Rick dies suddenly, the questions aren't about why, they're about who is profiting. I always said my first album would be my last album because I didn't expect to make it past 25. That was South African rap icon Ricky Rick. And now, tributes are pouring in for the artist, Ricardo Ricky Rick Makado, who died this morning in Johannesburg.
Hail Mary, I pray you keep me alive. And if I die, I'm hoping my niggas ride. Shout out my little brother, prevented my suicide. I was getting high, my niggas stuck by my side.
We all remember when legendary comedian Katt said that rappers don't just die, they either get eliminated or pushed to the edge. And the people up top, they make millions off it. That sounded wild back then, but looking at the story of Ricky Rick, it doesn't feel so crazy anymore. And his story is truly messed up. Ricky Rick was one of the biggest artists in South Africa. He was talented, smart, outspoken, business-minded, and proud to be black in every sense. Then, tragically, Ricky allegedly took his own life in his studio. While his family never explicitly confirmed or denied that his death was self-inflicted, Ricky had previously talked openly about struggling with the pressures he faced in the music industry. I'm not here to say I have all the answers, but what I am saying is this.
See, what I'm saying is, in business, nothing is coincidental or you will be hearing who's losing money. In all of these situations,
every time a rapper dies, the story gets wrapped up quick. Ricky's situation proves that Katt might not have been lying after all. In business, nothing is coincidental. Otherwise, you'd be hearing who's losing money in all these situations, and we never do. If you're finding this story compelling, please go ahead and like the video and subscribe to The Fame Game for more deep dive stories like this one. Quick PSA before we really get into the details. This story is intense. If you're struggling with similar feelings, please take care of yourself first and reach out to someone you trust.
Whatever you are going through, whatever you've been through, it's all about starting a new journey and starting that on your best foot, you know. So I just think about the kid who's sitting somewhere in Tanzania that doesn't have any hope.
Ricky, whose real name was Ricardo Makado, came out of KwaMashu, South Africa. He built his name on pure originality. His fashion, his music, his energy, everything about him was different and unique. He didn't wait for validation from the big labels. Instead, he spoke directly to the kids. He wanted to inspire the younger generations to pursue their dreams, no matter how hopeless their situation might have seemed.
No, even if people rock you, you know, I've also got a philosophy like, if people rock you, just teach yourself how to let it go, you know. Don't ever hold those feelings and keep those feelings with you, because most likely they're not keeping the feelings that, oh, I rock this guy.
Yeah.
You've always got to try let them go, and you try forgive people as much as...
He once said, whatever you were going through, it's all about starting a new journey and starting that on your best foot. He reflected on the impact he had. I think about the kid sitting somewhere in Tanzania that doesn't have any hope. For them to see a black guy with a beard with tattoos and his face is on a Vaseline, what does that do for that kid? Nothing was impossible. He believed that kids could be motivated to get involved with their dreams, and your dream is what leads you to where the money is made. Ricky also wasn't your typical rapper. He didn't glorify street life or getting revenge on ops. Instead, he advocated for positivity and helping others. And that is where the issues started.
Shout out to all the kids who came through. There's my little homie right there, man. Yeah, what up, baby? You good? All right, come and show you something. This is just to show the kids that they can do this thing themselves, bro. Like, I don't have, dog, people think I have $1 million. I don't have $1 million. I'm just doing this out of my spirit.
He had a philosophy on dealing with conflict. If people rock you, just teach yourself how to let it go. Don't ever hold those feelings. Try to forgive people as much as possible, as long as they didn't hurt your health or your family. He believed that holding on to bad experiences gives you a black heart and stops the positive energy you need to help others. After his 2015 album, Family Values, went platinum, Ricky started his own imprint, Cotton Club Records. He even signed a licensing deal with Sony Music Entertainment Africa. Ricky was passionate about using his label to put other artists on. But you know, that is the kind of move the industry doesn't like. They don't want artists empowering others. They want them feeding the machine. Ricky also spoke openly about mental health, politics, and moving differently as a black man in a system that profits off pain. He saw his work as an example, telling young artists, "This is just to show the kids that they can do this thing themselves. I don't have $1 million. I'm just doing this out of my spirit, trying to make dope stuff so people don't have to go to Mr. Price." Ricky really tried to teach younger people that they don't need to chase clout to be successful. They just need to learn to love themselves for who they are. But here's the problem. If young people loved themselves, how could corporations profit from their insecurities and sell them stuff they don't need? Ricky knew the truth. Instagram is like an advert for the life you don't live. If that seeps into your head long enough, you're going to have no confidence. You really got to teach yourself to be happy with who you are. People often compared Ricky to Tupac. He himself talked about feeling like he would die young, just like Pac, especially after he started having those dark thoughts. He said, "I always said my first album will be my last album because I didn't expect to make it past 25. I wanted to go out young like Tupac. I wanted to die like a Kurt Cobain. Suicidal thoughts is not anything new to me. I know how to even take it further. I've been to that dark place."
Advert for the life you don't live, you know? So if that seeps into your head, like, for long enough, you're gonna have no confidence, you know? So you really gotta teach yourself to be.
Sadly, Ricky Rick was right. On February 23rd, 2022, Ricky was found dead in his studio in Johannesburg at just 34 years old. He left behind his wife of almost 10 years, Bianca, and their 2 young children. His cause of death was reported as self-inflicted, though the family statement did not explicitly confirm it. But here is the other side of the story. Many of Ricky's fans felt something was suspicious about his death. While he struggled with mental health, some speculated he was pushed to the edge by shady figures in the music industry. This was especially true after he signed that Sony deal. This is where Katt Williams' warning comes in. Katt has been saying for a long time that the entertainment industry is a machine, and that machine knows how to squeeze every drop of money out of you, even after you're gone. Katt explained that rappers don't just die. They get set up, silenced, or pushed to self-destruct. When they do, the people who own their contracts cash out. No more arguments, no more missed shows, no more independence. Just pure profit. In business, nothing is coincidental, Katt said. When these rappers get killed, somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew. Don't have to validate none of their contracts. He added, now they only got to deal with the mama. Only got to see her once a year and it's over. They might lose a $20 million guy, but they gain $60 million in benefits. Katt says that when you're dealing with an industry driven purely by exploitation, nothing is left to random chance. Even things that seem random are planned and orchestrated to look that way. Somebody is always benefiting. People love to dismiss Katt as a conspiracy theorist, but think about it. How many times have we seen the same story play out? A rising, often young, often black artist dies suddenly. The streams go up, the merch sells out, and the label walks away richer than ever. When Ricky Rick passed and that old Katt clip started circulating, people couldn't ignore the pattern. Katt said the quiet part out loud. There's money in tragedy. For artists who try to own their work, that truth gets even darker. When an artist signs to a major label, that contract is more than just albums and tours. There's fine print about royalties, masters, life insurance, and recoupment. The label invests in the artist, but if the artist dies, they don't lose. They collect. Ricky Rick knew this. He publicly spoke out against big labels and shady executives, encouraging up-and-coming artists to be independent. He once ranted about the closed doors. Shout out to all the kids who never get on radio because they don't have enough money. There's too many structures that are blocking people from putting out the dopest music. He declared, 90% of the stuff I hear on radio is garbage. Everything is living on the internet right now. So if you're a kid watching this, forget radio. Go to the internet and make your songs pop. If this story is opening your eyes to the dark side of the music industry, hit that like button right now. Here's the ugly truth. A dead artist can be more profitable than a living one. Streams skyrocket. Old songs chart again. Merch sells out. The legacy conversation kicks in. Documentaries, tribute concerts, posthumous albums. Every one of those things makes money for the label, not the family. We've seen it with Michael Jackson, Prince, and Whitney Houston. And just like Katt Williams said, when that happens, the label doesn't have to deal with contract disputes, creative control, or artists demanding ownership of their masters. The deal ends, the estate gets a percentage, and the machine keeps moving. That's why some people say the industry doesn't literally eliminate artists, though I'm sure that happens sometimes. Instead, it destroys their spirit with pressure, burnout, toxic contracts, fake friends, depression. It's all part of the same cycle. Ricky Rick talked about it. He spoke about depression, about trying to find peace in an industry that only cares about the product, not the person. If Katt Williams was right, if the industry is designed to break people down and cash out when they fall, then Ricky's story fits the pattern a little too well. He was too good for the cutthroat music business. He felt too deeply and cared too much. And maybe that's why he didn't stand a chance. The industry doesn't reward empathy. The moment an artist starts speaking truth instead of selling fantasy, the clock starts ticking. At what point do we stop calling it a coincidence? How many artists have to die before we admit that the system might actually be built to destroy them? To be clear, I'm not saying there's proof of foul play in Ricky Rick's case, but I am saying there's a pattern. Just like Katt said, every time an artist dies, somebody profits. So let me know what you think. Is it a coincidence or design? Was Katt Williams right all along? Are labels really waiting for artists to break so they can cash in? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, don't miss out on this next fascinating story from